So Faber was a really, as I mentioned, the main difference between his story and Ignatius's is that Faber was very pious his whole life, and we know that that's not Ignatius's story. But they have this similarity in their struggles with scruples, and that Faber in particular had the same struggle that Ignatius did, with the concern that he hadn't confessed everything in confession. He was concerned about his sins himself, but he was also concerned about kind of the process of being forgiven for his sins, and he refers to his scruples as sort of the great occasion of God's mercy in his life, because it is through his scruples that it is because of his scruples that he opens himself up to Ignatius, because he's so racked by this, he's so paralyzed by this and by his sort of fear that he can never be good enough, that he can never do the great things that he wants to, that he's not going anywhere in his spiritual life. And Ignatius helps him to see his scruples for what they are through the spiritual exercises. First, through giving individual exercises, teaching him the examination of conscience, teaching him other methods of prayer, and then eventually through the full exercises. And this is sort of opens Faber up to the freedom of the real Christian freedom through Ignatius. So scruples are this thing that unites the two of them, because they both understand how paralyzing this can be, but then it also is really kind of how both of them come to experience the mercy of God. So, and then I think that obviously that's the basis for him being a good confessor, because my way of saying it is that Faber was, when he was gripped by scruples, he was paralyzed looking at his own soul and kind of going over his own soul in detail and just, revolving these things and just caught up in himself. So he got to know his own soul really well in a negative way, but he learned to be very attentive. That attention that he negatively focused on himself, he learned how to positively focus on other people in confession. He understood all the different tricks of the evil spirit, all the different kind of ways that people could be paralyzed, and he wanted to bring mercy to other people. And so he sort of used this negative experience in his own life to help other people.